welcome to the World Karate Federation's The Decade's Best, Series 2, Chapter 5. And again, revisiting the World Championships in Paris in 2012. And today's program features the female minus 50 kilogram category between Alexandra Recchia of France and Hong Li from China. And joining me to bring back that action and to relive some of those memories of 2012 are multiple world champions, Gilles Cherdieu for France and the legendary Wayne Otto OBE from Great Britain. Hello guys.
How you doing,
Thank you so much for your time. Well, we're going to start the program off with a memory, a phenomenal memory of mine certainly, between both of you. Now, you've met your partners, you've met each other on the tatami so many times over your illustrious careers. But one of the most dramatic was the final of the team in South Africa in 1996. Now, in that situation, it was France versus Great Britain. And as the match started to develop, it was incredible. The tension was starting to grow because it was one win one side, one the other side. At the end of the 5 matches, it was a draw on wins. On the count up of the points, it was a draw on points. So we had to go into the final bout and a selection of who was going to represent their teams on the tatami. Neither of you were really sure. But talk us through some of those memories, please. We start off with, I don't know. Well, let's start off with Wayne.
That was, even as I speak about it right now, I can transport myself back to that match, and it was a real tense moment. I think we had some drama because there was some discrepancy maybe with the timekeeping or the points, actually, which involved Gilles' last fight. And I think Great Britain at the time decided to protest by not lining up to finish off the bout, which eventually got overturned, which meant that we got into a situation where it was points were equal on all sides, the fights were equal on all sides, and we had to send somebody up for a last and final bout. I kind of knew that it was going to be me, but we didn't want the French side to know that it was going to be me, so what we did was we prepped Ian Cole to stand up on the line and start preparing himself with the hope that France would think that it was Ian that was coming out, and then once the fighters were drawn to the line, I stepped from behind Ian and walked to the tatami. And it was at that point that I realised that I've got Gilles in front of me. It was a tense moment. I think you could definitely feel the weight of the magnitude of the situation, both on myself and I suppose on Gilles as well. They'd already won the World Championships 2 years before and probably wanted to make sure that it wasn't a fluke that they won. It wasn't by any chance. And it was myself and Gilles that went out. I think the fight started off well for me. I believe I scored the first point, and then Gilles managed to come back and score a second point.
Okay, Wayne, can I interrupt you because I want to get Gilles' side of events, because in that build-up, it was very much tension going on between. So Gilles, your chance now. How do you feel about? What's your memories?
What I'm feeling, I'm still feeling so many things about this moment. What a moment! What a tense moment! I never think that I could live such a moment in my life. But, when it happens, it was so tough between England versus French. Every time we met, it was a very tense moment. And we met every time we didn't know what will happen. And like Wayne said, you know, I did my job and I met a guy who was not my first fight against the English team. I met a guy I didn't really know, and we make a special fight because it was really complicated to fight. And we just come to the last moment to say it was on perfect equality. And you know, I didn't know I had to fight. And I'm just watching my colleagues, French colleagues, and no one wanted to fight, you know, in this moment. My trainer said me, Gilles, okay, that's your turn again. I say, oh, what I am doing here. And I say, Yann, just line up. Alain Loïté, my colleague, my friend, was in this, and he just line and just waiting. And he knows that I had to go to fight against the English. And when they said, the referee said, okay, let's go, Wayne and I come to the tatami. And everybody applauds this moment. It was really a good moment. A really tragical moment.
Well, it was indeed a magical moment. And Gilles, as you went on to take that win, I think we'd better let Wayne have the last word on the subject before we get into the action.
There is not really much for me to say. You know, for me, the fight was one of the best fights, most entertaining matches that I've ever been involved with, and I think for the people that were there, they really experienced something that was a once in a lifetime. You know, I don't think we'll ever see. Well, it is possible that we will see tension like that again. But, you know, with 2 seconds left, I managed to score another point, and the fight between me and Gilles was originally equal. Exactly. At this point, having brought the fight back 2-2, I automatically assumed that somebody else would take over the mantle. Me and Gilles' job was done.
No, that's not what the rules say.
I didn't know the rules at the time. And then they said, Enchosen, first to score. Wow. You know, I tried my best, but on this day, Gilles' timing was impeccable. He came with the down over the top. You know, I couldn't believe that he scored with it because I knew what the implications were. But I tell you something right now, I have so much respect for this man, because anybody else would have been jumping up and down, screaming. He held so much humility. He went back on his line, stood tall. He didn't over-exaggerate the situation. We bowed, we spoke a little, and then he went and got his congratulations. and you know, it is still a moment that lives with me till now. But from that moment on, I knew this guy, he was special. He was special. Not because he beat me, but for how he won. And that matters.
Well, and he was. And I have to say, both of you are such exceptional karateka. We're going to now get into the action, and we're going to welcome onto the tatami another French star in Alexandra Recchia, and she's up against Hong Li from China. Now, in those days, we've moved on now from '96 and on to 2012 and the final of the minus 50 kilogram category. The bout started off a little bit quiet, I have to say, but the action started to flow afterwards. In the meantime, Gilles, can you tell us, please, what would you say was the importance of the 2012 World Championships for the French national team?
You know, for the French national team, it was a great moment because we are in France and we have to show how France karate is strong. And we have, this category, and the athlete has to show this moment. This moment is important for them. You know, we are in France, and we have a special athletes like Alexandra and a lot of others, and they have to show our federation, our public, and our nation how karate could be better. Karate could be great and beautiful, not better, great and beautiful.
And it was a wonderful setting, wasn't it? Because of the 15,000 spectators in Paris-Bercy watching this match unfold. You will note in the early parts of this there were some issues with the score on the graphic on screen, so that rights itself a little later on. So there was no real problems, no real dramas, and Alex Maladi from the United States, the referee, handled the situation really quite well. Much to the frustration of the crowd, but never mind, we got on with the match and we went. But in France, overall, Gilles, France had one of the greatest successes in the entire history of karate. Yeah. 7 gold medals you went on to win. How did that make the nation feel about that success?
You know, I don't remember it's 7 or 8, but 7 or 8, there is a lot of difference. But we can be proud about this success, because most of all, athletes, federation, referees, every people from karate was just supporting the athletes. And you know, for us, it was really a great moment because it was a success. It was one of the most beautiful competition tournament I've ever seen, and with the results, it was just exceptional. So for me, it was a great moment of history of karate, and we feel really, really proud of this moment.
And now, and proud you should be, because it was phenomenal. It was a phenomenal World Championships. Now, Wayne, you have been the coach for Great Britain. You are now coach for Norway. I think in 2012 it was the first time that you were representing Norway. And how did you feel about it? Why did France win so many medals then?
France have a fantastic system of producing athletes. They always have, and I think if you couple that with French pride, with the expectation of the athletes to do well, coupled with the atmosphere of the stadium, which was completely something that I've never ever experienced before. This can be enough motivation and enough will to make all of the athletes perform to the best of their ability and produce what was one of the greatest results in World Championship history.
Certainly was indeed. Now, both of you have since retired on the tatami, and you've gone on to do wonderful things for karateka around the world. And can you tell me, in your contribution to guiding some of the world's karate stars, what would you consider to be your proudest moments? We can start off maybe with Gilles and your reflection.
You know, the proudest moment, I think that, the proudest is my final against Wayne. That's an unforgettable moment. One thing I want to say that Wayne was my idol when I was young competitors, and I was watching him fighting, and I wonder how he could do such techniques. And when I met him, it was for me just the moment I had to tell, okay, I just met an opponent, not my idol, and I have to beat it. But it was really, really difficult for me. And my highlight is just the moment I spent with on the tatami and my final in 1996 in French versus England. It was really a proud moment and a great moment for me.
Okay, now, as we go through the bout here, Alexander is producing a sensational performance in the closing stages of the bout here. And now, as both multiple world champions, you are among the heroes, the legends of the sport of karate. But can I ask you, maybe starting with Wayne on this occasion, what makes such a fantastic champion? What makes someone like you and Gilles become so notorious on the tatami?
Excuse me. I think it comes down to obsession. I think it's an obsession with always wanting to do our best, always wanting to produce a better performance than what we did the last time. And I think with champions that seek multiple titles after another, the one thing that they have that I think separates them from the rest is the fact that although they can win a title one week, they don't dwell on it. They look forward to the next title. And I think that's what all the great champions have. That ability to be able to look forward to the next championship, to perform even better than they did the last time. And this is an obsession. And I think this is something that carries champions like myself, Gilles, and even champions like today, like Agaev, even Steven da Costa. This is what carries them forward, I believe.
And Gilles, do you have anything to add to that?
I completely agree with Wayne. I think that it's an obsession, and obsession before that means that the moment that you want to be better than the others and to stay above of them and to stay at the first place, it's just a spirit, a state spirit, and more than the technical, more than the training, it's what happened in your mind to make you just belong to the best and the champions. This is the difference between a champion and a great champion. I mean that people who are able to stay at the high light, at the top of their level a long time.
Yeah. And Recchia won that bout convincingly in the end, 8-1, and she has gone on to show just what a fabulous champion she has become and will continue to do so. Just before we finish, I'd like to just get an idea of what your plans are for the future. Wayne, do you have any projects in hand? What have you got to look forward to?
Well, for the foreseeable future, I will still be working in Norway. I think we have great possibilities here to produce some really good athletes. We've already produced one Youth Olympic champion, so we're very proud about that in Norway. And we're hoping to do the same in Japan, hoping to get somebody to qualify. So this is my main short-term goal at the moment.
Well, we wish you the very best of luck with your aims there, Wayne. And Gilles, talking about Japan, the Olympics, what projects? I know that you're very much involved in the French Federation, and what are your future plans? Any projects? Obviously, there's Paris 2024, which everybody in the karate world would love to have. But what are your future plans, Gilles?
My future, I'm working for the French Federation, and I'm really involved in national technique. And I will just follow the French team for Japan and try to select the maximum of athletes. It will be tough, it will be difficult, but we'll try. And work for the French Federation means that we have to increase our practitioners and maybe develop our discipline to propose something maybe new to just make our discipline better, and but really working with the WKF because it's really, really, really important. And what I want that our discipline is a good one. I hope Olympic one, but if not, best sport we could have to propose it to the new generation, to the young, and to show a great sport, a great discipline with a good spirit.
Well, thank you very much indeed for that. And just before we close, I'd like to say a huge thank you to two legends of World Karate Federation Kumite. And thank you so much for your time and your expertise in sharing those wonderful memories. And thank you everybody for watching the program. And until next time, bye-bye.
Thank you.
Goodbye.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thanks, Guy, for your accent. Thanks, Guy, for your accent.
It was okay. It worked.
David, thank you.
Yeah, great,
Really,
great.
thank you.
It was really, really good to see you guys, and best wishes for the future, of course, and thanks for your time. And hopefully we'll do this again sometime. Great
Yeah,
stuff.
hopefully I'll see all of
Thank
you
you.
soon. Take care.
Take care.
See you. Take care.
Cheers.
Goodbye.